Hey everybody, how's it going? We're going to do a horn talk today. Even though I'm taking a break from horns, I'm going to try and keep some horn content going just for all the horn guys on here. So, got my tanks aired up, so we'll blow this and then we will talk about some specifics on it. Alrighty, so hopefully the sound quality was alright on that. We'll get everything disconnected here and talk about what I got going on here. Alrighty, so what we heard there was a K5L, 80s K5L to be specific. So this horn is that one that I got from a friend that was just parts. It was a former, I'm guessing it would have been a former, well, it was a former CSX horn, but the interesting thing was, it came on a low manifold. It had a 1, a 5, and then a standard 3. So I don't know if it was if it would have been a K5L, an actual K5L that CSX had, or if it would have been a K5L, a hybrid with a 3-4A combination, or if it was a bell set that used to be on a K5HL, or a K5H, and that CSX put onto a low manifold. So there's a couple options there. Literally have no clue on what the history on the original parts would have been. And then I kind of messed around with it as a 80s K5LA. Sounded okay, but I wasn't too happy with the overall tone of it. So I ended up kind of switching it back over to a K5L. I did try the hybrid. Sounded okay, but I don't know. I kind of wanted an 80s K5L anyway, so I went ahead and built that as is. So I did switch the original 3 out for a different 3 just to match the 4. And we'll talk about that a little bit more specific here. But so this is the one that was shopped at some point, and I do still have the tag. And some of you guys will remember this from past videos. Clean the tag up. Kind of lined the use a panel lining pen and lined inside the punches just so you could read the letters and numbers a little bit better. Pretty cool tag from whenever it was shopped. And then this is also the same one that has the date stamped into the manifold from when it was serviced. May 2nd, 1995 is when whatever the original horn was went in for servicing, and then they did whatever they did to it. So like I said, I don't have any history on it other than the fact that it's CSX. So, but yeah, we kept the manifold, kept the 1, and kept the 5. Now, the number 2 is it's 80s wide font. It's got the raised circle there, really nice preserved raised circle. And then this bell actually is a former CSX bell that I had laying around. So I figured I'd slap it on this. No, sadly no original paint on it, but it is former CSX. The 4 on this actually came off of a Union Pacific, would have been a K3H or a K3L. I don't remember what my buddy told me, but it came off of either a K3H or a K3L, which is really weird. I doubt this bell was 100% original to Union Pacific. I think it might have been for something before and then kind of got thrown on a locomotive at some point. It does have the UPRR stamps on it. So I think what I'm going to wind up doing is I'm going to fill those stamps in, file them down flat, and then someday I'm going to repaint this whole horn back for a real nice CSX. The 3 that I wound up using is a former CN 3 from a K3L. It is 80s as well, so I made sure everything stayed raised circle 80s wide font. The 5 still has its. Well, actually, the 5 didn't have a back cap at all, so I ended up using the original back cap off of the 3 that I didn't use on this. Just so that way it had a somewhat original back cap, but you can see it's wide font. Wide font caps all around. So she is 100% 80s. It is the 5, and I'm sure you could hear the 5 is a small bore 5. And just to show everyone, everything's raised circle, wide font. The 4 is a raised circle, wide font. So everything is raised circle, wide font 80s. Didn't get too crazy there. But yeah, I honestly really love how the horn came out. Now the only reason I did not use the original 3 is because with me having this 4, the bore was a little bit different on the straight 4 compared to the 3 that was originally on there. This is a straight 4. It has not been bored, but it's a little bit. I think the 3 that was on there was kind of early 80s or earlier 80s, and this is like mid 80s. So the bore was just slightly deeper, and also the nozzle ring on the original 3 was really wore down and didn't have the greatest tone. And I had this 3, which the bores and the nozzle rings between this 3 and this 4 are completely identical. So that's why I went ahead and put a different 3 on there, just that way I would have really nice matching tone for those, and nothing would sound too off. So it was already a parts horn. I took off the 3, and like I said, I don't even know if that 3 is 100% original to what I got. So like I said, there's enough mystery to where I didn't feel bad about not using the original 3, because it's still, it's still an 80s straight 3. So just a former CN. But like I said, when I get around to it, I am going to give this a really nice repaint. Repaint it all CSX blue, real nice dark shiny blue, to kind of match my square tag K5LA and my CSX K5HL back there. I also, just as a side note, I might paint my other 80s wide font K5LA for CSX, because that horn is almost 100% CSX parts. So I think the 5 is the only bell on that horn that's not CSX. So I'm probably gonna wind up painting that someday. So for now that'll stay. But back to this one. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the tone of it. I love K5Ls, and especially older K5Ls. So I was really really excited when I finally made the decision to, forget trying to make this a K5LA and do a really cool K5L, especially since I had the straight 4. That's a pretty cool bell to have, especially an 80s one. Super cool. But yeah, you guys can look back at some of the other videos on the restoration I did on the 1, the 5, and even the 3 that I'm not using on here, the manifold. All those parts were in pretty rough shape when I first got them. Put a lot of time into cleaning them and all that. The 2 I had already cleaned up quite a while back and was just kind of looking for a project for it. Same with the 4. Cleaned that up. Just kind of had it sitting on the shelf waiting for a project. And then I ended up getting this 3 kind of around the same time that I got everything. So just kind of worked out better to turn this into a K5L. And so it'll be kind of a unique piece because they had K5Hs, but you never really saw CSX K5Ls. So this will be kind of a cool, unique horn. Already is, but after it gets painted and everything looks nice, it'll really be quite the piece. Don't really have a time frame on when I'm going to get around to painting it. I just recently finished stripping a horn, and it's kind of the reason I'm taking a little break, because stripping horns is a royal pain in the butt. So especially when you're dealing with railroad original paint, that stuff doesn't come off as good as the rattle can paint does. So it takes a little extra time and effort. So like I said, not too sure when I'll get around to painting it, but I rest assured when it is painted, it'll look just as good as my other CSX horns. So this will be a really cool piece. Did the standard stuff, new diaphragms, cushion rings. I even used it's newer hardware, but it's more prototypical to the era. I got flange bolts. I will be putting cork on this right now. I am running the O-rings, but since it's a 80s K5L, most of the bells are a little bit earlier on this, except for the 4. But I am going to turn it into a corker, so that'll be pretty cool. Have the longer diffuser ring bolts that stick out a little bit more, and have the longer back cap bolts. And the back cap bolts are matching to the foot bolts. They're a flange bolt. And what else did I do? Yeah, all new hardware, but older, kind of an older style. So once everything's painted, that'll look really nice and prototypical. Like I said, did the work on the tag, cleaned the tag up really as good as I could. When I do repaint this, I'll make sure to repaint the tag really nice. And I'm probably not going to panel line it again. I just panel lined everything just for the time being, so that way I could read all the letters and numbers pretty good. And this tag's pretty cool because I talked to a friend of mine about what some of that is. Still not too sure what the TEA is. If anybody knows what that is, let me know. It's 79901. The CSXT, I'm guessing this is like the serial number that they gave it for their records. And then the warranty expiration would have been 8 of 2000, I'm guessing, since that's double zeros. That would have been, let's see, that was 95, so like 5 years after that, the warranty expired. So it's kind of neat that the shops did all this, they did their own horn work, and then they even went as far as to give it a serial number, whatever the TEA is, and then actually put a shop warranty on it that had an expiration date. So that's kind of cool information on that tag. So we'll make sure to keep that a part of the horn. Of course, the stamp is always going to be on the manifold, so that's kind of neat. It is an 80s manifold. It is not a 90s manifold. It is a 100% 80s manifold. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's it right there, guys. The CSX 80s K5L. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the sound. Hopefully the sound was pretty good, and hopefully you guys liked the video. So until next time, everybody, take care.